Hi, I'm Eric Sakimoto, District Sales Manager for Taylor Guitars, and with me is Kenny Echizen, Product Specialist with Taylor Guitars. And we're excited. We're here at Wildwood Guitars, and we're going to go over a couple things to help you find the right acoustic guitar. And we all know at Wildwood Guitars, there's a lot of guitars to choose from. And in order to find that right guitar, you have to break it down into two main aspects. The first one being the body shape, which is the fundamental tone of the acoustic guitar. And on top of that, you have tone woods, which kind of seasons and enhance the body shapes. And both together will help you find the right guitar for you based on your playing style and what you can use the guitar for. So with the body shape portion, one thing I wanted to point out before we get into it is that we're going to use all 800 series Taylor guitars. So they're all going to have rosewood back and sides and a Sitka spruce top. So the only thing we're going to change on you is the body shape. Now we're going to begin with the Taylor 814 CE. It's by far our most popular body shape, so if it ends in a 1-4, it's a Grand Auditorium. And we have buzzwords for all of our body shapes. So this is called the Swiss Army knife of body shapes. So we're all familiar with Swiss Army knives, they're multifunctional. So if you're the type of player that plays a lot of different styles, use your acoustic guitars for different projects, you can practice at home, plug in, play in a live band at night, and then go in the recording studio. The Grand Auditorium does all those and it functions very well. Now we're going to move on to Taylor 816 CE. And in 1994, the Grand Auditorium was introduced, and it was a hit right out of the gate. But there are a few players that maybe wanted a little bit more volume, may want to attack the guitar a little more aggressively. So in 2006, the Grand Symphony came out. This is an 816 CE, so if it ends in a 1-6, it's a Grand Symphony. And if you look at them side by side, you're going to notice that the lower bout's a little bit bigger, and we push the waist up. The other difference is the Grand Symphony comes with medium gauge strings, where the Grand Auditoriums come with the HD light strings. Okay, but just as versatile as the Grand Auditorium, but just a little bit louder, a little bit bassier. We're gonna
hear the comparative difference.
Yep.
Okay.
Now the 816, the Grand Symphony.
Bass.
All right, there you have it. Now you can tell that Kenny was really digging into the guitar. So if you're very aggressive, this is a good choice for you if that's your playing style. Now we call the Grand Symphony the big, bold strummer because of exactly what Kenny represented it there.
You can still play
Nice
the
job.
finger style and still projects enough, just like a Grand Auditorium as well.
Mm-hmm. Just as versatile, but just gives you an extra bump.
Extra gear.
All right, now we're going to move on to the Grand Concert. This is an 812 CE 12th fret. And everything about the Grand Concert's a little bit smaller. Okay, it's got a smaller soundboard. The depth is shallower, and it also has a shorter scale. All Grand Concerts are going to have a short scale, 24 and 7/8, where our standard scale is 25.5 inches. Less tension on the guitar. Since it has a smaller body, if you're into fingerstyle or recording, it's not going to get too boomy. Nice balanced tone.
Yeah.
But we call the Grand Concert the secret weapon because the whole tone is just more focused, right where the mid-range frequency is.
Yeah.
And this has to go if you're a rhythm guitar player in a full band. Okay, so you have the bass player, you got the drummer, the keyboards, vocals. There's a lot of different sounds going in with the full band. And so with the Grand Concert, it focused right in the mid-range where you're not getting into the low end of the bass or the chime of a percussionist or the right hand of a piano player.
Mm-hmm.
It sits right there in that mid-range frequency.
Mm-hmm. So I don't have to really hit as hard to get a big sound. But if I play a finger style on this, let's try comparing it with like a GS for a sec. So like, I'm gonna play a little finger style with the same amount of attack on my right hand. All the small nuances I make on the left hand will be a lot more clear and louder. It's perfect.
Beautiful. Now, the Grand Concert brings up another point, is the size. You want to be really comfortable when you're playing your guitar. And the Grand Concert and also the Grand Auditorium, which is Swiss Army knife for guitars, is really comfortable to play. If you're playing a show for a couple hours, that's one other thing to consider.
Very studio friendly too. If you're sitting in the studio for hours and hours, you don't want to have a big guitar, kill your shoulder and stuff. And Grand Concert especially, just have that looser tension, just makes things easier on the fretting hand as well, I think.
It's a great couch guitar.
Very couch guitar too.
Now we're going to move to Taylor's largest body shape. This is a Grand Orchestra. It's an 818E, so if it ends in a 1/8, it's going to be a Grand Orchestra body shape. And 2 years ago, replaced our Jumbo. And one thing you're going to notice difference between the Grand Orchestra and the Jumbo is first the depth on the Grand Orchestra is deeper. It's about 5 inches deep. And then the waist isn't pinched in as much as the Jumbo. So it's more similar to like a Dreadnaught. It gets good projection out there. Now, one thing you can't see under the hood is the bracing pattern. is designed by Andy Powers, who's our master luthier. But he first incorporated the parabolic bracing on this guitar, which is basically as you go from one end to the other on the X bracing, it thins out, gets thicker, and then it tapers out to the edge. Okay, on a traditional scalp bracing, there's actually a little peak right here in the lower bout. And so the top reacts differently with the parabolic as opposed to scalp bracing. Mm-hmm. The parabolic bracing acts more like a speaker. So it doesn't matter if you're strumming the guitar or finger picking the guitar, anything that you're doing on the acoustic guitar, the top's going to react the same.
Yeah. So get that enough volume if you strum it hard enough too.
So
big sound.
Big sound, like Ken was saying, you really can hear the air moving, kind of a breathy sound out of this guitar.
So finger style works too. Fine.
A lot of people think that a big jumbo-shaped body like the Grand Orchestra is a strumming guitar, and that's all you can do on it. And so Kenny did the finger picking on the guitar specifically to point out that because of the design of the guitar, you can do a lot of different things on a big body. The only thing that's really going to get away with this guitar is the size of the body. Mm-hmm. So why don't you just do some open chords on there so we can actually hear the big body sound. That's what I want to hear. The last body shape we're going to go over, is the 810 CE. It's a Taylor Dreadnaught. Okay, and everything about the Dreadnaught is you think traditional. If I was going to tell my grandma who's never played guitar, I'm going to learn to play guitar, she's probably thinking this body shape and this sound. If you're into bluegrass folk music or any type of acoustic music from the classic rock 60s and 70s, this is the sound that you're looking for. The Dreadnaught, because it doesn't have the pinched in waist as the other body shapes, you get that projection out there into the audience. With the Dreadnaught tone, a lot of lower mid-range frequencies that you're going to hear out of this guitar.
Thank you, Jimmy.